David Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports, absolutely eviscerated and exposed a Washington Post reporter for her bias and her activism. You've got to see this.
Hey, Emily, this is Dave Portnoy calling. I'm recording you right now. We have this Pizza Fest happening on Saturday, and you're reaching out to our advertisers. You're basically sending an email. Dave's a misogynist, racist. Do you want to defend yourselves advertising at this event, right?
I'm sorry, what's your name, Dave? I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm the guy you're writing the article about, Dave Portnoy.
I haven't said anything like that.
I can read if you want. We are planning to write about the festival and how some of the sponsors and participants have drawn criticism by seemingly to associate themselves with Dave Portnoy, who has a history of misogynist comments and other problematic behavior. I want to make sure that Blank had a chance to respond to this, since the company is the most prominent of their partners of his festival. Do you think that's fair? Like, I totally disagree with the assertions of what you said, that misogynic and all that stuff. So you said you didn't do it, then I have the exact evidence of you doing it. So
no, I didn't say I didn't do that. I said I did. That was the one that was the most pointed.
Well, no, before I provided proof, you said you didn't really remember doing that, and then I read it to you, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I did it that one time." So you did do it. You know, I've raised $50 million for small business. I've helped pizzas. None of that. It's Dave's misogynic and problematic, and I'm happy to talk about it, because to me, nobody would like if someone's going around sending that email to their sponsors. And again, you're not like questioning. It's almost like a statement of fact. This is what I am. When were you going to reach out?
We were planning on doing it tomorrow morning, but
So you're going to write the article and then give me, like, I've had that a bunch. People write a full article and then give me the points after.
We're doing a bunch of reporting, and we wanted to make sure that when we finally did talk to you, we could really kind of present what, or talk about things more fully based on
like what? Like, it sounds like you have your opinion made of me based on that email.
No.
So then how, if you don't have your opinion made of me, how do you say in an intro email, Dave Portnoy has a history of misogynic comments and other problematic behavior? That's how you introduce the email. Don't you think you should talk to me before sending that email? This is a hit piece and you have your mind made up. Why else would you put... No, you call me in the intro. I'll say it again. Dave Portnoy has a history of misogynist comments and other problematic behavior. You didn't say Dave Portnoy raised $50 million for small business. Dave Portnoy saved thousands of pizza places. You didn't mention. You said it in a way that is putting sponsors on the defensive.
This is kind of standard journalistic stuff.
Unfortunately, yes. I catch you off guard on a phone call, and now you're like, no, we planned on talking to you tomorrow. Like the Washington Post, which is a wildly left-leaning publication, you have things you've said. You hate Trump, you hate Elon. Not that I'm those people. To think you're going to give me a fair shake. I wasn't born yesterday.
Can we set up a time tomorrow to talk? I mean, really, I want to get into all of it.
Well, I don't know if I trust you yet, so I'd want more. I want to see everything that you've been asking these people. Like, again, I don't think there's generally why I don't do this at the last minute is because if you really wanted to get my perspective, it wouldn't be me calling you. You would have already reached out to me in a fair manner.
Sometimes you have to say something like, this is like, it's sort of a reporting tactic. When you want someone to respond, you kind of have to indicate that there might be something negative, and then you get them to engage. That's all I was trying to do. I really wanted them to engage with me.
That is a sad state of journalism if that's a tactic that you have to, what I would say is make up something about somebody.
This is absolute perfection, and kudos to Mr. Portnoy for turning on the camera and letting us all see exactly what's going on here. You see, this is not journalism. This is actually activism. In fact, this is a reporter creating a narrative and pushing the narrative onto these sponsors, saying, hey, people are talking about how you're sponsoring this guy and he's a racist and he's a sexist and he's all these. No, people are talking about it. And I'll tell you who people are. It's the people inside the Washington Post editorial room. They're the people who are talking about it. They're creating the narrative. They're pushing the narrative onto these sponsors and really just trying to intimidate them out of sponsoring David Portnoy's adventures. The purpose of this article, the purpose of these letters to these sponsors is not to actually write the story. It's to actually get the result of these sponsors pulling out. They want to force these sponsors out of sponsoring the event because David Portnoy needs to be canceled and deplatformed. This is not a journalist looking for a story. This is a journalist creating a story in her own mind and then building the narrative for her bosses at the Washington Post. Good for David Portnoy, exposing it, displaying it for the world to see, and hopefully stopping it from happening. This reporter is not reporting on a story. That's not her goal. Her goal is to bully these sponsors into pulling out of the event. And then, well, her article is really just going to be a victory lap about what she was able to accomplish. That's not reporting. That's bullying. And good for Mr. Portnoy, because I think what we need more of is bullying the bullies. Stop this behavior once and for all.